All right, good morning, everyone. Today is our first official lesson for pre-algebra. We're working on variables and expressions, which is lesson 1-1. I'm just going to go over a few things that I think you need to be aware of after looking at the PowerPoint lesson and now listening to me speak here. Vocabulary, first of all, you need to know the vocabulary. It's in the PowerPoint lesson. The vocabulary words include variable, coefficient, algebraic expression, constant, evaluate, and substitute. Make sure you know what all of those mean. Very important that you understand the vocabulary. Variable is one of the vocabulary words. I just want to make sure that we're really clear on what a variable is. If we have an expression like 3 plus x, I would like you to know that the x can represent any number. The x, first of all, is the variable, and it can represent any number that is assigned to x. So for example, if we have 3 plus x, and then afterwards we say 4x equals 2, 3 plus x would be, in this case, since x equals 2, 3 plus 2, then you can evaluate that as 5. So understand that a variable is any number. Usually when we get into pre-algebra, we'll be solving for that variable, but in this case, for this lesson, you will just be assigning that variable will be assigned a number. Order of operations, this should be a review for all of you. I choose to use the acronym PEMDAS. It's very important that you know order of operations. I'm going to go through this really quick. The first thing you do is parentheses. The second thing you do would be exponents. The third thing you do, and this is going left to right, would be multiply. I'm going to say and divide. Multiply and divide are treated the same. So if you hit a multiplication going left to right before a division, you do that first. If you hit a division going left to right before a multiplication, you do the division first. Add and subtract. And again, I'm going to treat these the same. Add and subtract would be the same thing as multiply and divide. Whichever one is first going left to right would be the one that you would do. So should be a review on order of operations. A couple of other points I want to make would be if you have a problem such as, I'm going to say 6 times n plus 2, and these are parentheses right here, minus 4, and we're substituting in for n equals 5. And by the way, this is not a negative sign. This is just another point I'm trying to make here. You would take for n equals 5, and you would just plug in 5 for your variable, as I told you earlier, and this would be your problem. And you would evaluate the problem in that way. Order of operations says you do parentheses first, so we now have 6 parentheses 7 minus 4. This might be new to some of you, but when you have a number or a constant multiplied by another constant and they're put together with parentheses, this simply means multiplication. 6 parentheses 7 simply means 6 times 7. So our new problem is 42 minus 4, and ultimately our answer would be 38 if we are going to evaluate that expression. So again, the most important concept I think we need to understand here is that if you have a constant or a number outside of parentheses, you are multiplying this number by whatever is inside the parentheses. And in this case, since n is 5, 7, which would be what is inside the parentheses. Last point I want to make here would be another problem in which you're substituting in a variable or a number for a variable. We have 4c plus 1, and all of these are in your PowerPoint lessons. And we're going to say 4c equals 11. Simply plug in your 11 for 4. So you would not write 411 because that's 411. You are taking 4 and you are multiplying it by c. So in this case, if you have a number or a constant next to a variable, it is just like a multiplication problem. So it would be 4 times, and in algebra we use a dot for times, 4 times 11 plus 1. 4 times 11 is 44 plus 1, because the order of operations says you do multiplication first. 44 plus 1 is 45 for your answer. That, I believe, should be everything that I need to go over with you. The rest, hopefully, you can figure out on your own, and if not, we'll work on it tomorrow in class.